Hello and welcome to my video. Today we'll be talking about Slovene declensions. So this is a more advanced grammar video, so make sure you watched all of my grammar videos before you watch this one. Otherwise it won't make sense. Additionally, please watch my video. Learn Slovene questions and of course, if just practice again, learn Slovene grammar, 3 grammatical genders. Those are important for this video. Okay, so what are declensions? I'm sorry about my pronunciation. We have 6 cases, which are called nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, locative, and instrumental in English. And in Slovene, these are called imenovalnik, rodilnik, dajalnik, tožilnik, mestnik, and urodnik. Each of these cases has a question attached to it. So in this case, nominative has kdo ali kaj, who or what. Kdo ali kaj, who or what. Genitive has koga ali česa, whom or what. Koga ali česa. Dative has komu ali čemu, to whom or what. Komu ali čemu. Accusative has koga ali kaj, who or what. Koga ali kaj. Locative has o kom ali o čem, about whom or about what, o kom ali o čem. And instrumental has s kom ali s čim, with whom or with what. S kom ali s čim. Okay, and basically, before we can get started, we will once again go through grammar basics really fast. Slovene has 3 grammatical numbers. Singular for one person, one object, dual, 2 people, 2 objects, and plural, 3 or more people or objects. And a noun in Slovene can have one of the following 3 genders: masculine, feminine, and neuter. In this video, I explain how you know, but basically, I will tell you again. Masculine nouns typically end in a consonant. Feminine nouns usually end in a, but that's not always the case. And neuter nouns end in o or e. So that's how we know. Okay, at first we will learn masculine nouns. Masculine nouns are divided between hard and soft stems. What does this mean? Basically, we have hard stems and soft stems. Soft stems are words which end in c, ch, sh, ž, or j. For instance, the word stric, which means uncle. As you can see here, we have c at the end. So stric is a soft stem. And then we have hard stems. These are words that end with anything else in the alphabet. So anything that isn't C, Ch, Sh, Ž, Y. Okay? For instance, korak, which means step. As you can see, it has a K at the end, which is none of these letters. So that's how we know it's a hard stem. Okay, and masculine nouns are also further divided between animate and inanimate nouns. Basically, animate nouns are people, animals, and living things. such as things in nature, trees and plants. Inanimate, inanimate nouns are objects. Okay? So, for instance, an animate noun is a girl or a mushroom. An inanimate noun is, for instance, a chair, if that makes sense. So, for inanimate nouns, the accusative singular is identical to the nominative singular. Okay? So, the accusative will be the same as nominative. And for animate nouns, the accusative will be the same as the genitive singular. So, basically what this means, let's go through everything again. So, masculine nouns have soft stems and hard stems. This is very important. Soft stems end with C, ch, sh, j, and j, the last letter, okay? Hard stems end with any other letter. Also, we have animate and inanimate objects. An animate object is something that's living, and an inanimate object is just an object that's not living, okay? An inanimate object, for instance, a chair, his accusative is dependent on the nominative. His accusative will be the same as his nominative. But for animate objects, his accusative will be the same as the genitive. Okay? I hope this makes sense. Okay, let's continue. So what I meant by that, let's go back. For inanimate object, the accusative is the same as the nominative. So if we have a chair, this is the ending of a nominative, and the accusative is the same as the nominative. So this is the ending. There is no ending. Okay? But if we have an animate object, the genitive is the same as the accusative. So when we define the accusative for an animate object, we look at the genitive. So the ending of this accusative would be a. As you can see, in masculine nouns, endings change not only for each case, for singular, dual, and plural, but also between hard declension and soft declension. We will do some practices like this in the next video, but for now, I hope you saved these pages. So, there are of course some exceptions for the masculine nouns. If the stem of a noun ends with rya, the nominative singular ends with only in r. For example, radar has a genitive singular of radaria. Okay? And some nouns have the ending ye in the nominative plural instead of e. For example, kmet in the nominative will be kmetia. And a few nouns ending in elaya have a stem in elayan rather than dropping the fill vowel. For example, nagel, his genitive singular is nagelna. And depending on the vowel, the masculine noun ends, things change. So those masculine nouns that end with O decline as regular masculine nouns with simply an additional vowel in the nominative singular. For example, we have the word kino, and the genitive singular would be kina. Those ending in I or U, and all words ending in a stressed vowel. A stressed vowel is when we emphasize the last vowel, in this case. So the last letter is a vowel and we emphasize on it. Okay? In this case, we add an y after the stem when endings are attached. For example, apartma. See, in this case, we have a stressed vowel at the end. Apartma. See, we stress the vowel at the end. So his genitive singular is apartmaya. Okay, we add an j or y. Those ending in a usually decline as feminine stems, but can optionally also decline as regular masculine stems. Proper names ending in e normally follow the neuter declension. You may not know this, but there are exceptions to the gender rule of the nouns. Some masculine nouns can end in a, and some masculine nouns can also end in e. Okay? In those cases, we usually just use for a feminine stems and for e neuter stems. Okay, up next we have feminine a stem noun. So we have feminine a stem nouns, we have feminine I stem nouns, and we have feminine V stem nouns. Feminine A stem nouns are the most common. They do not have a distinction between a hard and soft stem, and this is also what is used when we have a masculine noun that ends with A. But these are the most common nouns, so A stem nouns. So these are the endings for singular, dual, and plural. And in the case, sometimes in dual, in nominative and accusative, we have E as an ending instead of I. This is for nouns with mobile accent, and so these end in E instead of I. You can look up nouns with mobile accent for A stem feminine nouns. There's a whole article on them on Wikipedia, but I'm not going to go into too much detail for now. Basically, I is going to be most common, so if you're a beginner, just use I for now. Then we have feminine I stem nouns. These are less common and usually end with os. And we have feminine V stem nouns. This end in EV, ev. For instance, the word briskel. These have some traits of an A stem, but an I stem instrumental singular ending in io. And many nouns in this group can also inflect as regular I stems with the nominative singular ending in va and accusative and instrumental singular in vo. But we won't go into detail with this. And last but not least, we have neuter. Neuter has O stems and N, S, and T stems. We will mostly focus on O stems. So neuter O stem nouns. The neuter O stem nouns are divided between hard and soft stems, just like the masculine. So the rule is the same. The nominative and accusative always have the same form. Okay? And the neuter O stem declension closely resembles its masculine counterpart. So this one is easier to remember because no matter if we have inanimate or animate objects, the nominative and accusative is always the same no matter what. For instance here, nominative is O, accusative is O. Nominative is E, accusative is E. A, E, A. So as you can see again, we have hard declensions and soft declension. And at last we have neuter N, S, and T stem nouns. This use the same endings as the O stems, but there is an additional constant infix, N, S, it, that is present in all forms except the nominative, accusative, singular. The N stem and T stem nouns have a nominative, accusative, singular in E, while the S stem nouns have O or E depending on whether the preceding stem is hard or soft. That's it, and next time we'll talk more about this. Thank you for watching.